Guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Okay, so today is the same day as yesterday. When you're watching these videos, I'm wearing the same clothes and it's still Chase's birthday. So Chase has requested a little meal that I make that I call cheeseburger roll-ups, and for this I need to make tortillas. Sure, you can go to the grocery store and you can buy tortillas for a couple bucks and get a big bag of tortillas. But have you ever looked at the ingredients in those tortillas? Like, the list in the ingredients is about this long, and there's probably 50 things that you can't pronounce. So making tortillas is extremely easy at home. You don't even need a tortilla press. I don't have one. That's on my things that I want to get list, but I don't have one right now. So I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to make some tortillas at home that taste better all day long, and your family is going to absolutely love them. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is get 3 cups of flour. As usual, I keep my flour down here. That way it's just easier to get to. Now, one thing that you're definitely going to want when you're making tortillas is cast iron. Doesn't matter if it's, if all you have is a cast iron Dutch oven, that'll work too. You just want to get it hot on the bottom. Yeah, bring it over and show them. This is my favorite little skillet. It's a shallow skillet. I like making my eggs on that, and I like making the tortillas in that too. So we'll put that over there on the stove. Okay, so 3 cups of all-purpose flour. We need baking powder, which, again, like I said, I always keep my baking stuff right down below here because it just so much more convenient. So 2 teaspoons. Where's my teaspoon? Come here, you. Okay. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. It always gives me a chuckle. I get my baking powder from the Amish, and it just always kind of makes me chuckle that it's in a baggie. All right. Now, you want to give that a little whisk just to work it all together. That way when you're eating it, you don't get like a bite of baking soda. You want to evenly mixed together. Now we need 2 teaspoons of salt. Oops. Keep my salt in the chicken. I use, this is kosher salt. Sometimes I'll use sea salt. I'll use pink salt. Just don't use iodized salt. Not that it won't turn out the same. If that's all you have, go ahead and use it. It's just that iodized salt's not all that good for you. We like to stay away from that. Okay. Now, we need 3/4 cup of lard. Cup measure. I rendered this lard down with my uncle a month or so, 2 months ago, something like that. And I always use an offset spatula. I think it's just easier to work the lard. You don't have to have it cold for this recipe, so I had it cold for the pie crust I made a little bit ago, but it's warmed up now, so it's not as painful to try to scoop out. But lard is still sticky. If you don't have lard, you could use vegetable shortening. I just never recommend it. I think everything tastes better when you use lard. You could use coconut oil if you wanted. You could use tallow if you had that. I would say that shortening is on the very end of the list of things that I would use.
Could you use butter?
You probably could use butter, but I think that butter might not give you the end product quite the same because butter's going to melt at a lower temperature than the lard will. So in a pinch, if you didn't have anything else, you could experiment with butter for sure. All right.
Right here.
And in it goes. Now we're going to work this with our hands, much like we did the pie crust the other day, or yesterday. It's today for me, but for you guys it'll be the day before. Well, because I'm going to be posting these videos 2 different days.
Yeah. Okay.
So there we go. Into the soapy water. So you just want to get your hands in here and start working it. You want it kind of even consistency. The pie crust, I like to have a little bit of lumps and bumps in there because that's what makes a nice flaky crust. With this, you could get it a fairly even consistency. This is gonna make 12 tortillas. Now for my cheeseburger roll-up recipe, which I can show you guys, I cut those 12 in half, so it makes 24 roll-ups. And you could do this with a pastry blender if you want. Look, I have to stand on my tippy toes because I'm so short. Isn't that silly? This island is not short people friendly. Mm-hmm. But I spend enough time here, so I just go up on my tiptoes, and I have really great calf muscles because of it. All right, that's about good, and I'll show you what we have here. I'm not gonna bother washing my hands because we're gonna add hot water. So that's your consistency, so you can see it's just a little crumbly. Now I need 3/4 cup hot water. Get this steaming. Tortillas are one of the easiest things to make at home. Anybody can do it. All you need is a couple ingredients and a rolling pin. So 3/4 cup hot water. I had to laugh. I have to tell you guys this. And I'm gonna get the other one dirty. That's fine. Harley wanted to buy a glass measuring cup because she wanted to use the plastic one that we kept at the sink for filling up the coffee pot and stuff. She wanted to replace it because she wanted to use the plastic one in the barn. So we were again at Ollie's and she said, "Oh, here's a glass one. I'm gonna buy it. It was real cheap." And so she said, "Here, you can use this up at the house." So I get it home and I look at it and I go to fill it up with water. And I think it's dirty anyways. And I said, "I had never seen this before, but this is a left-handed measuring cup." And she said, "What?" "It's a left-handed measuring cup. When you hold it with your right hand, if you're right-handed and you're trying to fill it up to get, water or whatever, and you're trying to look at your cup measurements, it's got the milliliters on this side. So you have to hold it in your left hand to be able to see the cups and ounces." I've never seen that before.
Maybe it was just blue.
So I said, I'm the only person in the world that has a left-handed measuring cup. Anyways, 3/4 cup of water, and you're just gonna make a well in your flour, and you're gonna put that in there, and you're gonna start working this around. It's gonna get a little sticky and a little messy, but that's okay. It'll all come together. It's gonna be a very similar consistency to a pie crust. Somewhere between a pie crust and a bread dough is about where we're gonna live with this. You're gonna find that most of these staple items that I'm showing you how to make, like we did tallow and lard are rendered the same way. We did that the other day. That's my baking staple. I made pie crust. I made a video for that. This is tortillas. I've made bread and pizza crust. You're gonna see a common theme in all of this is it's very basic. It's very simple. The recipes aren't hard. It's literally easy skills that anybody can learn how to do. When you're working in a homestead kitchen and you're trying to make all your food from scratch, the biggest thing is just trying to figure out how to time things so that you can get dinner done at a regular time. When you know that you're making your tortillas from scratch, you're gonna know that this is gonna take me an extra 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, depending on if I have awesome help or not. So, so basically it's just the timing of things. But if you're gonna spend 45 minutes going to the grocery store to pick up those tortillas, well, then you've just saved yourself some time. It's basically just figuring out how to organize your time and your kitchen. What's that?
Why am I always halfway to the camera?
That's okay. All right. I'm gonna work the rest of this down here on out of the bowl so I don't have to reach up over. So you're just gonna work it around. You're gonna knead it a little bit so that it all comes together. This is where we differentiate from the pie crust because you are gonna knead it a little bit. Not like you're not making a loaf of bread here, but you do want it to come together cohesively into a nice smooth ball, not a bowl. That is a nice smooth bowl, but that's not what we're making here. Okay. That is pretty good. Trying to pick up all the crumbs there. Okay. I'm gonna get my recipe book out of the way. Now, I'm gonna get my bench scraper. And we're gonna cut this into 12 sections. So what I like to do is cut it in half first. So I know each section needs to give me 6. So then I'm trying to make it kind of even. Okay, I'm gonna cut it in half again. And then 3 sections out of that. And they're gonna vary in size, but that's okay. Now, again, this recipe calls for, you know, putting it in the refrigerator for a little while, let it get cold. I don't have the time for that, so we're not gonna do that today. So we're gonna split this in half, and 3 more. You guys want to turn that burner on to like a medium.
Yeah.
You want to get your cast iron, whatever you're using, into a good heat. And this is where they enjoy this. So the only thing that you're going to need really now is your rolling pin, and then whatever you're going to sit them on when they're done. So a cookie sheet works well if you guys want to grab a cookie sheet out. And then I like to get paper towels, and I will wet them as I go, kind of wet them, wring them out, and you're gonna make sure that you cover your tortillas as you take them out with a damp paper towel or a damp towel, whatever you have, because you don't want them to dry out. That is like the biggest thing. That's the most important part of keeping your tortillas soft. Because if you don't cover them, they will kind of get a little more crunchy. All right. So I'm just kind of like putting them into a ball form. Okay, hopefully you guys will be able to see this, okay? Just put it down. I should probably flour it a little bit. I don't like to over flour when I'm doing this because the flour will get into the cast iron and kind of like, I don't want to say it'll burn, but it will burn. I don't have a better word for it. It will kind of burn.
It'll caramelize.
So you want to make sure you really push down, and you're going to obviously try to get a circle. Yes, you're right, Chase. It will caramelize. But that does help to give the tortilla its nutty flavor. So I'm going to do a couple of these over here. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, but I'm handing these off to the kids. They like to help. So I will move us over there once I get some of these stockpiled. Here you go, Chase. Oh, let me show you. See how nice and thin? Okay, real thin. Like a 1/16 of an inch if you can. Really get it thin. There you go. Go stick it on there. And Harley's going to flip them, I think. And then they'll cover them with the wet paper towels. You don't want it dripping wet. You just want it damp. And this is all there is to it. When you put them on, they're gonna, I need a little flour. That's fine, just a little flour. When you put them on the cast iron, it's gonna be like about 30 seconds to a minute on each side, depending on how hot your cast iron is. And you're really just looking for it to turn golden. It'll bubble up a little bit. And that's how you want it. See, they're not perfect. That's okay, they're gonna taste perfect. There we go, there's another one. And I'm just gonna stack them here until those ones are done. And I can move you over there and show you what it looks like as they go. It's just a lot of repetition. But having these skills is definitely great because you can throw together a dinner in a pinch. And these cheeseburger roll-ups are about the easiest thing you could possibly ever think to make. Go. So basically what I'll do is I will saute up some hamburger. I usually will mix in, once I got it browned, I will mix in 1 small can of tomato paste. Usually I try to can my own tomato paste so I don't have to buy it from the store. And then once you get that all cooked and good and it drained off, then I'll mix in a little bit of sour cream and some cheddar cheese. Well, the cheddar cheese kind of goes on the top, but you could put some inside too. And then I roll them up with the goodies in there, and I'll layer them in another cast iron, and I sprinkle the top with more cheddar cheese. And then when you get them out of the oven, if you wanted to have onions diced up to put on there, tomatoes diced up, however, whatever you, lettuce, you know, whatever you want to put on your cheeseburger, you can sprinkle on the top. They're so good. Yeah, that's good. They are so, so good. All right. So I'm gonna take you guys over here as soon as I get this one sat down, and I'm gonna show you how they cook them up. Go ahead and show them how we do it. You just kind of put it down on there. I'm gonna turn this down some because now that it's good and warm, we don't wanna go too hot. And you can see over here, they have the cookie sheet with the paper towels. And so Harley's just going to, don't mind my stove. I've been cooking all day, so I haven't scrubbed it off yet, but you can see how it's starting to bubble, okay? And that's perfect. You're gonna leave it on there for about 30 seconds, and then we're gonna flip it. Cut the light on, there we go. See how it's starting to bubble up? That's exactly what you want. That gives the tortilla its signature texture.
This one's worse than any others.
That's good.
Here we go.
There we go. Sorry, my tripod is just like impossible to move. But anyhow, see? It's perfect. So I'm just gonna put you guys on a time lapse so you can kind of see how we get everything done. Okay, I'm making these cheeseburger roll-ups, so I'll just show you really quickly how I'm doing the filling. This is just some ground beef, and to that we're gonna add 1 can of tomato paste. Now, I have my own down there that I use, but I'm just gonna use this for this particular recipe. That way, if you guys want to recreate it, then you know what to get, because this size jar works perfect. Okay guys, so here I have the hamburger mix, I have the skillet that it's going into, and I have the tortillas. Now I cut, whoops, why are we crooked?
I got it. Oh, she got it.
I got it. Hi guys. Okay, that's better. I cut the tortillas in half, okay? That is key. Look how nice and soft they are. All right. So basically, this is where you would, if you wanted to add pickles or whatever in here, you would do that now. But let's see if I can show you this really good. So I'm just gonna kind of make a triangle with that. Let's see if I can show you. Kind of make a triangle. And then we're just going to roll it up like that. Okay, and then you're gonna lay it in here, seam side down. Actually, we're gonna put it more like up here on the side to kind of hold it all in. Yes. Which pickles did you grab?
Dill pickles.
Okay, go ahead and pop that open.
Pickle.
You'll take a pickle?
Pickle.
Now, sometimes this gets a little messy, and that's perfectly fine. There we go. Harley went and got pickles. You just want to do a little bit of the meat in each one because you can actually overstuff them and make a big mess. You don't want to do that. And you don't want it to be difficult for people to pick up and eat either. The whole point of this is that it's kind of handy. It's just a little bit in each one. Actually might be too much in that one, but that's okay. We're just gonna work them around like that. And I will come back when I have this all put together. All right guys, so this is what we're looking like. As you can see, they all fit in there real nice. And I'm just gonna top it with some more cheese because who doesn't love cheese? We put some with pickles in there. I'm gonna make a mess. I always make a mess. Who's surprised? Not me. All right. These are just fun to eat. They really are. So we're gonna put them in the oven, not for long. Basically, you're just putting them in there to melt the cheese and get it kind of bubbly and all hot. The tortillas are gonna get a little crunchy around the edges and they're just gonna be absolutely delicious. So let me put them in the oven. We're talking like probably 10 minutes will be good enough, and then I'll show you when they're done. All right guys, I just pulled this out of the oven. It's nice and hot and bubbly and ready to go. Look how wonderful that is. You can top these with ketchup, mustard, sour cream, whatever, lettuce, tomato, however you'd like to top your cheeseburger. You just do that with these. Everybody in the family loves them. They're super easy and quick to just take them out and go. So there's one with the pickle. And they're fun. So I hope you guys love it. You make tortillas at home. Don't buy them at the store. It's so easy. And it literally takes less time than it takes to get in your car and go to the grocery store to buy the tortillas. So just make your own tortillas. Try this recipe. I hope you guys love it. And until next time, bye.